Hey everyone, it's Nikki. Welcome or welcome back. I have just one DIY for you today, perfect for the holiday season. I thrifted this tray and primed it with Paint Couture's 2-in-1 Premium Primer in the color gray. And then I went over it with the color Farmhouse Linen, again from Paint Couture. And these transfers are from IOD's booklet called Partridge Lane. I'm going to choose some images out of this. But before I apply them, I am going to use Extreme Guard Satin to just prep my area for my transfers. I'm taking out one of Redesign's molds from this year. I'm sorry, I do not know the name. I'm going to dust it with some cornstarch and then use my dad's air dry clay and pressing that down into my mold. I'm going to choose a couple houses and I'm going to cast a few other trees and some lanterns, which I do not end up using the lanterns. I prefer to work with clay, but you could always use some epoxy resin for this project. And in a way, I kind of wish I had because I do end up painting these houses, and it was a little hard for me to distinguish what was the windows, what was the trim, and the fine details. But I am happy with how it came out. The end result is really pretty, and but you could do whatever you prefer for this project. So as you can see, I'm batch casting and I love the scale of these trees. This mold suits perfect with Partridge Lane. Uh, I I did go on Redesign's website and tried to find the name for this mold, but I believe they're sold out. I could not find this, so I'm lucky that I bought it right off when they released it. So I'm flexing my mold and I'm going to roll it back to release my castings and then just help along the little ones that don't want to come out. And I did have some breakage, but that's perfectly fine because one, I didn't end up using these, but I could also just mold them back together. Then I'm going to perform the usual. Once I get my transfer down, I'm going to begin rubbing and pulling that transfer sheet back as I go. Another fun idea would be to cast a bunch of those little houses and create your own little village, which is what that mold I think was created for. And that may be something that I end up doing along the road because I just love working with clay. And I thought this tray was just perfect for this project. As you can see, I broke the lantern and just tried to shorten it a little bit, but the scale just seemed off. I mean, the trees are tall, but in real life, trees do grow over buildings, but the lampposts do not reach that high, and it just didn't look right. So I do end up taking those out and save them for a later project. And then I use my Tight Bond Quick and Thick wood glue and just use my finger to spread that around the back of my mold and then set it right down to my little tray. A quick thank you for stopping by my channel today, and I really hope that you're enjoying this. I do a lot of DIYs using clay and IOD molds, redesigns, but also a variation of a lot of different DIYs, including Dollar Tree DIYs. So I am very much versatile. As you can see, I added this beautiful swag. I do end up applying it in 3 sections. I didn't have quite enough to reach both ends completely, but it still came together beautifully and it looks really nice overall. And if you're enjoying Christmas DIYs, which I think most of us crafters are doing right now, I'd love you to check out the 12 Days of Christmas playlist I took part in from October 1st to the 12th. And there's so much festive inspiration there. Uh, the last one that I did, I worked a lot with clay. So if you're enjoying these types of projects, you'll definitely want to see that one. Thank you to everyone who returns each week. I don't have a specific day that I post, but I usually get out 2 videos a week. And so keep an eye out, put those notifications on so you know when I post a new project. Then I'm going to add an ornament to each side of my swag. I had such a surprise last night. I got 2 packages from subscribers, and one of them is also a fellow YouTuber. She totally surprised me. Both of them did. I don't know if they'd want me to mention their names, but thank you so much. You absolutely made my day. So then I went over all of my castings with the color Buttercream. This color isn't the color that I originally used. I had originally used the color Farmhouse Linen, but I ran out of that. So this is the color that I'm using, and it's all the products I'm using are by Paint Couture, so I'm not going to keep mentioning them. But I did bring that Buttercream around my tray to try and just blend everything together a little bit. That way it just wasn't like stark white in the background. But I do let that dry fully, and then I'm going to go in with Crackle Step 1. I'm going to go over all of my images, just not over my castings. And then I'm going to let that dry for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go in with Crackle Step 2. And this one's quite a bit thicker, but I try and make sure that I don't keep going over it, that I just apply it, because it just doesn't seem to crack the same if I keep going over it. And then once I give that about 30 minutes, then I'm going to go in with Van Dyke. Wait, no, this is Brown Sugar Glaze. And I'm going to spread it all over my castings, my images, everything, and then pull it back with a baby wipe. You could totally skip this step altogether. I just love things to look old, and I do love that vintage feel to my projects. And I know a lot of people have mentioned that they do not like crackle. You could also skip that step and just add a little bit of glaze, or to skip both altogether. This would look nice either way. Back to the packages, I thought it was so funny that they showed up on the same day, but I also wanted to say that I don't expect any of you to do anything like that. I never ask any of you for anything, but I am just so grateful that you think of me and that you take the time to watch my videos and comment, and all of the sweet words that you share with me, and all of that is enough. But if you do choose to send something to me, I do appreciate it, and it really does make a difference in buying things for my channel, or just knowing that people care. That just means the world to me. And like I said, just by being here makes all the difference. All right, back to the video. As you can see, I'm applying more glaze and wiping it back, and then just using my water mister to help move that glaze around. I know a lot of folks don't like this old grungy look, but I absolutely love it. You could totally skip this step and paint all your castings if you'd like. I'm not entirely sure what it would look like unpainted, or not distressed, because it's the distressing that brings out all the small little details. But this would look cute just with the transfers. I know Partridge Lane booklet has so many houses in it that you could just add an extra house to each side. But I'm going to paint all my castings. I'm going to use the color Eden by DIY to paint all these little trees. And I'm going to use a baby wipe to pull some of that back. I'm then gonna paint my houses, and I'm gonna do this one the color pink. This is Ballet Slipper by Waverly, and I think it matches rather nicely with the little pink houses in this. But I did have, I think I mentioned earlier, I'm doing this voiceover just days apart, and the details are really hard for me to distinguish, especially because it's clay. And I think if I would have chose resin, those details would be more prominent, but I'm just trying to wing it. The end result does look good, but it is a little tough trying to figure out what's what. I'm going to start painting over the peaks of the windows and I think it's like a porch on the front. I'm going to bring that same color milk chocolate all around those areas, and I'll just let you watch and see what I'm doing. Next, I took out my snow pen. That's by Pentar. I absolutely love this little pen. It's so fun to work with. But I went all over the roof line, and I started to do like along the bottom of the houses, but then I'm like, okay, well, I don't really want to waste my snow pen. So I took out my snow text and started working along the bottom to make it look like they were snowed in pretty good. I love snow, and it's really funny because I'm a New Englander, and a lot of people don't really like snow that live here, especially if they've lived here their whole lives. We tend to like to go to Florida and warmer places, but I do enjoy the weather here in New England very much. I felt like my tray needed something in the center. So I chose this typography. This is from the DIY struggle, and these are last Christmas. And I'm going to choose this Merry Christmas and just placing it there along the center. Oh my goodness, Redesign just had their Christmas release. Oh my goodness. Guys, there's so many beautiful transfers. What's the matter, Blue? It's all right. There's so many beautiful transfers and decoupage papers, and a lot of them are vintage themed. Just so beautiful. You guys should check it out. And that is it. I think it came out beautiful. And as always, you guys will have to let me know what you think of this one in the comments. I appreciate you stopping by my channel and checking out this project today. And let me know if you would make it in the comments below. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Until the next one, bye.